With the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag first sailing into our lives in October of 2023, and more than a decade later, it remains one of the high points of the series. Developed by Ubisoft Montreal, Black Flag combined the familiar Assassin's Creed formula with its thrill of an open sea piracy. Now, when rumors of the remake began circulating in sometime in early of 2025, I decided to revisit Edward Kenway's adventure to see whether it still holds up, and whether the nostalgia has carried more weight than the quality. Now, from the moment you set sail, Black Flag delivers on its promise of freedom. You can navigate the Caribbean Sea, hunt treasures, engage in naval battles, explore dense jungles, and drink rum at the island taverns. Unlike many modern open worlds, which often feels bloated with repetitive collectibles, Black Flag strikes a balance between variety and scale. Its map is surprisingly modest compared to the later Assassin's Creed entries, but every island, fort, and shipwreck feels handcrafted rather than pasting it in just to have a kind of like an extension towards its playtime. Side activities like diving bell challenges, harpooning, hunting, and sink pointing are straightforward but reinforce the pirate theme rather than distract from it. Even the Ubisoft formula of the towers and homestead liberations blends smoothly with naval forts and sea forts, making each conquest feel like a genuine pirate victory rather than a box-ticking exercise. Now, naval combat remains the crown jewel, controlling the Jackdaw through storms, boarding enemy ships, and returning fire with chain shots, fire barrels, and mortars still delivers adrenaline moments. There's a genuine sense of scale when a man of war looms on a horizon, and a roar of cannon fire coupled with rolling waves creates cinematic set pieces worthy of any pirate film. Upgrades to Jackdaw's hull, cannons, and sails gives you a tangible progression path. Even without grinding, you can tailor your ship into a more of a formidable war machine. The Kenway's fleet feature, where captured ships can be sent to generate income, sound promising, but in the vanilla game it was quite cumbersome. And by the time you capture high-tier ships, you usually have more resources than you even need. A remake should streamline or integrate this feature more organically and see how it will develop. Boarding actions captures the piracy fantasy, but they can also expose the game's age. Early in the campaign, taking over smaller vessels feels quick and satisfying, but later on you face large crews and must climb masts, clear decks, and seize the quarterdeck flag. Animation-based parkour sometimes misreads your inputs, causing Edwards to stick to sail or tumble into the sea. After dozens of boarding missions, these moments can break immersion and feel punitive rather than challenging. A modern remap could tighten free running and collision detection, ensuring that the thrill of the storming a ship never veers into frustration. On land, the core Assassin's Creed mechanics such as free running, tailing, stealth show their 2013 roots. Jungle canopies and town rooftops still provide satisfying traversal, but movement occasionally misfires when navigating complex structures or crowded fort interiors. Tailing missions, whether on foot or by ship, grow repetitive over the time, while a few early stealth encounters reinforce the series' lineage. Edward is at heart a pirate, not a master assassin. The inability to crouch at will, forced into standing between cover, undercuts stealth options and feels outdated compared to the later of titles. Enemy AI remains functional but predictable, lacking the nuance found in the modern action-adventure games. A remake should refine these systems, smoothen out some of the navigation, reduce tail mission frequency, and expand stealth choices so that the land-based gameplay matches the polish of the naval experience. Beyond mechanics, Black Flag's strength lies in its pirate story and characters. Edward Kenway starts as a stealth-serving privateer chasing profit, but he becomes entangled in the centuries-old conflict between assassins and Templars. His journey from mercenary to reluctant hero explores themes of freedom, loyalty, and consequences. Although the overarching Assassin's Creed lore, the Piece of Eden, modern-day segments, and Templar's intrigue can feel like a narrative anchor weighting down the pirate saga, The game strikes a reasonable balance. Edward's relationships with figures like Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Mary Reid, and Adwell provided emotional depth. Each side character, whether a drunken tavern mate or a hardened pirate captain, contributes to Edward's growth, peeling back layers of his ambition and exposes his humanity. Still, the modern-day storyline often disrupts pacing. After hours of swashbuckling action, you're yanked into a sterile museum corridors or digital archives, tapping into an iPad to access Animus data. These segments have become a hallmark of the series, but here they feel especially out of place, and most players would prefer to stay in the golden age of piracy. A remake might consider integrating the present-day narrative more subtle, or completely just pushing it away, maybe putting into an optional content, preserving the immersion in the historical world. Despite these critiques, Black Flag's core experience remains compelling. Its open world feels fresh because it embraces its pirate setting wholeheartedly. It avoids the bloat of later Ubisoft titles, replacing it with just enough side content to encourage exploration without turning into a checklist chore. The naval combat is timeless, and Edward Kenwait's arc is memorable, anchored by the strong supporting characters who avoid the series' usual side character anonymity. Revisiting the game in 2025 was both a nostalgic journey and eye-opener. I found myself grooving to the sea's chanties, marveling at the dynamic weather, and strategizing each broadside attacks as if I was experiencing it for the very first time. Yet I also noticed how modern action games have refined movements, AI, and UI in dozens of years since Black Flag's release. These advances don't ruin the original, but they highlight areas where a remake could shine. More responsive parkour, streamlined fleet management, deeper stealth options, and fewer intrusive modern-day interruptions. In the end, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag endures because it captures a dream that had never been fully realized. A AAA open world built around the pirate life. It offered freedom to chart your own course across the vibrant Caribbean, to rewrite history as a privateer turned assassin, and to live out the fantasies framed by cannon smoke and cutlass steel. A well-executed remake could polish the rough edges and bring Edward Kenwait's story to a new generation. But even in its original form, Black Flag stands as one of its crown jewels of the franchise. A testament to what happens when Assassin's Creed dares to sail beyond its comfort zone. And at that, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.